Rafe Beckett is a 3 times classic winning trainer, and I've come along to his Kimpton Downs stables to have a look at his ammunition for the forthcoming season. He's linked up with top Irish jockey Fran Berry, and together they have ambitious plans.
Southern Storm is all out in front. Southern Storm takes the finale.
Pure Art getting on top, close to the finish to win under Fran Berry.
Moonrise Landing got up to win the marathon.
Moonrise Landing really flew the flag over the winter, of course winning on Good Friday at Lingfield, but you've got some fairly ambitious plans for her.
Yeah, listen, she came out of left field really, Simon. You know, we were struggling with the back end and of the turf season, and it always started dropping her in, and it all clicked for her. And Mr. Saville would like to get her up to a rating that would enable us to have a crack at the Melbourne Cup with her. So that is probably going to be the aim in the first half of the season, and hopefully that will pan out. I think she's developed for again this spring. You know, she's a big, strong girl now, and that would tie in with her pedigree, really, being by Dalakani from a family that got better with age. So
would some cutting the ground be beneficial going forward?
It's funny, you know, I never felt she wanted giving the ground, and then she proved that completely wrong at Newmarket at the back end. So we'll see. I think she's too good a moving filly to really need fast ground, yeah.
Could be very exciting, couldn't it, going down under, and a filly who stays and who seems to have the ability to quicken and seems to be versatile as to whatever the circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's pretty bulletproof in terms of her makeup, her character. So if we get her there, yeah, it'll be great. We'll have great fun trying anyway, for sure, Simon. So something to look forward to.
Simple Verse has been an absolute star. Started this time last year with a rating of 82, and you think she went on to win a classic, yeah, and become the first filly to win the St Leger since she was a friendly in 1992. That was, I know it became a little protracted in the end, but it was satisfying.
It was immensely satisfying, you know, and a huge sense of achievement really involved all the way through. You know, as she got better through the year. We actually scratched her only half an hour before the King George V at Ascot because of the ground that day, and then she went to the Bibury Cup, and I always wondered if she would have become the filly she did if we'd run her at Ascot, because I'm sure the ground would have seen to her chances that day. But yeah, it was hugely satisfying, and I was very pleased with her seasonal debut in the Jockey Club Stakes, and the Coronation Cup hopefully will fit in nicely. And if we can be competitive there, so much the better. I don't think the track will hold any fears for her. It's just whether she's good enough to beat the Colts again.
And you no doubt have a back-end campaign in mind for her as well.
Yeah. I think the purpose of getting going with her early is so that we could have a mid-season break and come back for the autumn, and whether that means taking in the Arc or try and win the race at Fillies Race on Champions Day, whichever. But that would have to be our primary. One of those two would have to be our primary end of season aims for the campaign. So yeah, look, there's plenty of options for her. Luckily, maybe the Yorkshire Oaks will set her up for the autumn.
You've been to France recently with Air Pilot, who's again been a real stable stalwart, ran a cracking race, I thought, in the Champion Stakes last year. It just didn't work out for him at all in the Prix Gannett. He got no kind of run at all, did he? No.
And Fran felt he would have finished fourth with a clearer run. He could well be right about that. Ground had dried a little as well. I didn't feel that he travelled as well as he can do, and maybe the track didn't suit him as well as the Rowley Mile does, or as Ascot does, or as well as the Curragh did last summer. So yes, it may be that he just needs a slightly, you know, Saint-Cloud is a fantastic track, but he may be that he needs a longer straight and a bit more of a galloping test, if you like. So we'll keep bashing away, and we'll find slot for him.
And the Tattersalls Gold Cup in Ireland, is that on the agenda? I
think that's probably going to come too soon. It'll be his third race in quick succession, and I would think probably, you know, it'll be his third race in just over 5 weeks. I think that would be asking a bit much. So I wouldn't think inevitably we'll look for easier targets. Probably that'll be a good race. It's shaping up to be a very good race, isn't it? So, but I still feel there's a bit of mileage in him.
I thought Argus looked a very nice work in progress when he won at Doncaster in October of last year, and I would imagine that again he's another horse that has more to offer this time.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Simon. He does. His career has been hampered by feet problems, and we are still not quite where we'd like to be in that sense. But he's a horse with plenty of talent, and once we get him right, I'm pretty sure that there's another good handicap in him, and hopefully he can rise the ladder and go into stakes class, because he definitely has that in him, in our opinion.
So for mark of 92, he could be well treated.
Yes, yeah, it's possible. He hasn't really shown his hand to the handicapper yet, so, or me. So I'm hopeful that we're on the right side of the fence.
Another filly you've done really well with is Adoro, who made her reappearance in the Pretty Polly, and again it was a big run, a really good start to the season.
It was. She's a filly who's surprised us at every point. You know, she had a troubled time as early in her 2-year-old career. She wasn't easy to break in or to get going, and just improved with work and time. And as time went on, she suddenly blossomed, and she did better than any of us expected last year, really. Won what looked like a decent Haydock maiden, and then to show up in the Pretty Polly, where I didn't really feel she handled the dip. Actually, she looked a bit awkward running downhill and then ran on. Now, obviously, the winner was clearly the best, and will doubtless go on and be competitive at a higher level. But I think that once we step Adoro up another couple of furlongs and go to Ascot for the Ribblesdale, I would have thought would be our ideal spot. I'm pretty confident now she'll get a 1.5 miles.
Another filly with a Ribblesdale entry is Roccaverde, who is lightly raced and therefore open to a fair bit of improvement.
I agree, very straightforward filly. She's been a pleasure to train, really. She's no trouble, and she I hope will get to the Ribblesdale or something similar. The only caveat with her is I'm pretty sure she needs juice in the ground, and so we might have to campaign with that in mind initially. She doesn't have a high knee action, but she grabs the ground, and it clearly really suited her at Sandown the other Friday. So we'll plan our way with her, but I think I agree, I think she's a long-term prospect as much as anything else.
Rafe, you've also got a very nice bunch of younger horses to look forward to this year, including a number from Juddmonte, which is a pleasing acquisition, no doubt.
Yes, a bit more than pleasing, Simon. It was a huge boost to us all. To be sent horses from Prince Khalid. We're delighted to be training them. So yes, there are sort of various types in there.
Beautiful pages, but perhaps a bit early to suggest which ones are going to come to the fore.
Absolutely. There'll be a while yet, but there's a very nice filly out of Visit called Ristretto by Adoro. She looks like she'll make a 2-year-old. And sister to Stipulate, and yeah, some really nice stock in there. So, and a brother to Carntop as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on with them. But most of them will be second half of the season 2-year-olds, which is there's plenty of time yet, isn't there?
Attracting top Irish jockey Fran Berry to come and join him as stable jockey has been a real coup for Beckett, and Fran has wasted no time in settling down into his new role. Fran, really good to see you settling into the role here with Rafe, clearly enjoying it.
Very much so, Simon. It's it's been a busy last 4 or 5 weeks. Been quite busy, just getting settled in and been a bit hectic. But no, really enjoying it and settled in well. My family are really enjoying it, and nice to have a few winners on the board already.
You know, there's much more to this than meets the eye, isn't there? Relocating from Ireland, coming here, having to get used to working in this yard, to the gallops here, and all those different race courses that you've got to ride on that you've in many cases, never actually ridden on before.
That's right. You know, from getting to know Rafe himself and his team, and the way they like to do things in the mornings, and you know, the style of work riding and pacing. You know, that every trainer is different in how they like it done, and you know, I've been trying to gel in with that, if you like. And then, as you said, you go on racing, and I've ridden a lot of tracks in England, but equally I haven't ridden at a few of them, and been getting to the race early and getting a good walk around them, and you know, getting to know them. And I'm sure the more riding you get on them, the better it'll be as well. But you know, so far so good, but there's a lot that goes into it.
It must come with its pressures, because you're already established as a top jockey, you're a big name, people expect you to hit the ground running, so whilst it is a learning curve, there's perhaps a bit of pressure inwardly to feel that you've got to make it work straight away.
Definitely. You know, last year back home I got over 1,000 winners in Ireland back home, and you know, you come back here, coming over here, you're starting from scratch in a way. You know, I've been with Rafe, I've got a new relationship with him, and I've ridden for a lot of different English trainers over the years, so but you got to get out there and get results. You know, it's very important to show that you can do it here full time, and hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, Rafe felt, he said, that it was really important that not only did he get a top jockey on board, but somebody he could really get on with. So it's really important that you two see eye to eye and sing off the same song sheet, effectively.
Yeah, it won't work any other way, and you know, so far I think we're getting to know each other a bit better, and you know, I like the way his style of doing things. It suits my, you know, what I envisage things to be done, and you know, is the way he brings fillies along, and it's all about progression, and you know, it's so far so good.